2022 at 6 o'clock is now being called to order. If everyone will stand, we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, can we have roll call, please?
Commissioner Yeager, Commissioner Egner,
Present.
Commissioner McGann, present, Commissioner Engelke,
Here.
Commissioner Mercer,
Here.
Commissioner Little,
Here.
Commissioner Stokes,
Here.
Commissioner Vidal. Okay, we have 7 present, 1 absent.
Okay. Has everybody had a chance to look at the previous minutes? If they have, do we have a motion to accept?
There needs to be a correction on the agenda items, number 3. Well, is that for this time or last time? Should that read 328? It's supposed to be approval of minutes for, I guess that's what we did last time, wasn't it? Approve the minutes from 328.
Yes, ma'am.
It's on the second page.
Yes, that would have been the right.
That would have been from last time. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. I thought too hard about that one.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
A second.
Previous.
We have a motion and a second. Can we have roll call, please?
Commissioner Egner,
Aye.
Commissioner McGann, yes. Commissioner Mercer,
Aye.
Commissioner Little,
Yes.
Commissioner Stokes,
Yes.
Commissioner Vidal.
Okay. On to old business. Case number 2079, the request for conditional use for a cemetery use located at 4600 Church Road in Horn Lake. The land that's zoned AR consisting of approximately 80.73 acres plus or minus. This was the case that was tabled from our last meeting on 4/25. I'll turn this over to Director Barr.
Thank you. Good evening, Commissioners. Yes, per last week, the applicant on this particular case has requested that the basically stay tabled until August. So that's their request from last week to staff.
Okay, so they're wanting to table it. Do we have a motion to table this till our August meeting?
I'll make a motion to table this case 2079 to August meeting.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Stokes, a second by Commissioner Little. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Egner,
Aye.
Commissioner McGann, yes. Commissioner Mercer,
Here.
Commissioner Little,
Yes.
back to Commissioner Mercer. That was yes?
Yes.
Okay. That's okay. Commissioner Stokes
Yes.
and Commissioner Vidal.
All right, so we tabled till our August meeting. On to our new business, case number 2060, a request for a site plan and design review for Little Scholars Daycare land use at 2036 Goodman Road West by Ms. Moore, landowner, ETI Corporation engineer, and Metro Construction Builder on 1.10 acres plus or minus. The subject parcel is currently zoned C4, planned commercial district. Again, I'll turn this over to Director Barr.
Thank you. We'll wait here as Daniel brings up the next case.
Okay.
Oh, thank you, Daniel. Next slide. So yeah, we have our standard placeholder slide there. It talks about the architectural standards for the city and the purpose. Next slide, please. So here we get into the specifics of the request. The number one here is the about dumpster enclosures. Number one, there was no dumpsters or dumpsters shown on the drawings. So to remedy that would be to show that dumpster with the appropriate screening material. Number two, mechanical systems. The issue is that they would have to be screened from public view, which in this case would be Goodman Road West. It does look from the drawing that they do have maybe some duct work or so on the outside of the building. So if the applicant could clarify that particular point. I think last week in speaking with the engineer, I think they were going to put the mechanical equipment on the back of the building. But if they could clarify that this evening, that would be great. Number three is the roof pitch, or the pitch of the roof. The requirement is for at least a 5 to 12 pitch, up to a 12-12, if at all possible. That's the wording per the city design standards. What's proposed is a pitch of a quarter to 12. So that's what's proposed. Thank you, Daniel. Going on to number four is the front facade building standard. The standard calls for a 20% minimum glass as a building material for a public-facing facade. What's estimated by staff comes in at 16.2, so it's close. So we'd ask for that to be revised to meet the standard. So here we have the placeholder slide that talks about site plan review, why we have site plan review. Next slide. This one here says, if approved by the Planning Commission, the approval is good for a year from the date of approval. Next slide. Very good. So here we see a diagram of the proposed layout or the site plan of the area. The proposed detention pond is up at the top of the slide, and then there's the required play area. The required play area is required through the zoning ordinance, which would be also north of the principal building. The principal building is highlighted in yellow. The property line is highlighted in kind of a pink color. Number one here talks about design provisions applying to vehicular access, areas. So some exterior lighting is shown, but no details provided. So staff would ask that exterior lighting details for illumination be shown, and the illumination shall be fully shielded per the code. Number two is the utility plan. Utility locations are not shown except for some existing electrical. So provide the locations of utilities for review by staff and engineering. Number three is the dimensional requirements of parking spaces, specifically in this case for handicap spaces. What the site plan shows is 10 feet wide, but the city standard for ADA accessible spaces is 12 and a half. So that's actually greater than the ADA standard, which is 11 feet wide for width and 11 feet wide for width. So we'd ask that be revised. It looks, from the site plan, looks like there's ample area between the actual handicap space and the loading, unloading area for the handicap space. So that should be, looks like it should be easy to adjust for that. This slide talks about landscaping and screening, why the city has that, and established those type standards. Next slide. This one here is shows the proposed landscaping. Really the only issue is streetscape type A, which is for the south side, which is the public road area, and then there's parking right there. So what that does is bring in this particular standard, which calls for 20 feet of width, which is met, but it also requires 2 large shade trees in the areas, basically framing the sides of the south parking area, but none provided. There are 4 ornamental trees, which are highlighted on this particular slide with the kind of the orange circles in this particular area. So though no landscaping is required for the west side of the property, the applicant has proposed 3 shade trees on the west side. So I'll leave it to the Planning Commission to see if that's a balance for you, if you'd rather have a shade tree or more than that in the front. or if it's invalid, in your opinion. So in the end, recommended motion is for case 2060, site plan design review at 2036 Goodman Road West, consisting of that 1.1 acres plus or minus for land that's zoned C-4 for a requested daycare use. The following conditions. Number 1, revised to show a dumpster with appropriate screening material. Number 2, revise, clarify plans to show mechanical systems, and that said systems must be screened or not visible from a public road. Number 3, revise to the required 512 pitch requirement for the roof, or rule on request, if it's made, to deviate from the design standards via a design exception to state why the standard cannot be met. And that's using Article 13, Item K1, items A through C of the city zoning ordinance. Number 4, increase the glass as a building material to meet the 20% requirement for the front facade, which is also the south facade. Number 5, provide exterior lighting details that meets the city design standards. Number 6, provide utility locations. Number 7, adjust ADA parking space loading area widths to meet city standards. Number 8, clarify south side plantings to meet city standards or get approval by planning commission as submitted. Number 9, provide south side sidewalk to meet city standards. They put that on the plat, the final plat, if you remember that, not too long ago, for the Lindis Square is the name of the subdivision, this one lot subdivision where this would be occupied, and they did put that note on that particular plat. And so they do intend to install the south side sidewalk. So that would conclude the presentation unless you have any questions.
All right, so does any of the commissioners have any questions for Director Barr?
Director Barr, is this a fence going around the play area? Is it shown on here? Is that a fence shown on here? I couldn't identify.
It's a very good question. Let me look closer.
With the drainage right behind it.
Yeah, I can't make it out either from the drawing. I do believe it is going to be fenced, but that would be a question that could put to the applicant, which they are here tonight.
Okay.
So,
Any other questions for Director Barr? Okay, if the applicant is here, if they'd like to come up.
I know this case has been before y'all before, but I had my young engineer handle this case, but today she decided to have her baby. So I drew the short straw and have been playing catch up. We're pretty much in agreement with the conditions. Just a few clarifications. On the first one, it talked about us providing a dumpster pad. Well, we were thinking we're going to use rollaway cans. So we'll
Before you go in, is his microphone on? Because I'm having a hard time hearing what. Okay, it is on.
It's just me.
Okay,
Maybe I
checking.
need to get closer.
Yeah, we've got a couple that are kind of hard to hear things.
Yeah, so you can just speak closer into the mic. I just wanted to make sure it was on.
So what we were thinking is using some rollaway cans that will be stored around the back. So that's why we don't show a dumpster pad. Another one that was mentioned earlier was about the I'll let you speak to the equipment and where that is.
Hi, I'm Emily McGow with Vesta Modular, and so we're providing the modular building. The HVAC units are wall-mounted units, and they are on the rear of the building. So they're facing, I guess that's north on the plan, so they will not be seen from the road.
So Director Barr, my question would be, is if it is on the back side of that building, does it still it has to be screened, or is it because it's on that north side, it would be considered in compliance?
It would be considered in compliance. 'Cause
Okay,
that would
I just wanted clarification for everybody.
Nope.
And the same would be for the dumpsters?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions? Any questions for the applicant? All right, do we have,
What
I'd like
about
them
the
to clarify the
pitch?
fence issue.
Yeah, the pitch and the fence issue.
The what in the fence issue?
Yeah, so what their question is there going to be a fence around the play area because the detention pond's right behind it?
There will be a fence around the play area, yes.
Okay, do you know what kind of fence it'll be?
That has not been determined at this time, but there will be a fence.
Director Barr, is there any particular fence that they have to use, or more importantly, is there a certain fence they can't use?
I'd have to look into it closer. I don't know if there would be anything from building code perspective that would dictate that as well. I just have to look into it further, but we could communicate that with the applicant to make sure that they would meet the standard.
Okay.
So,
Any other questions?
Will the fence will go all the way around the play area, or is it just, 'cause let me look at
Yes.
it again.
Yes, sir.
But
And regarding the pitch, we did get clarification that we can do a parapet across the front facade. So we are going to install a 1-foot parapet across the front, and it will have steps down along the edges, and will wrap around the sides just a little bit, a few feet back.
All right, any questions for the applicant or for Director Barr at this time?
Is the roof design in the package that you're talking about with the parapet?
No, so when we got your notes back, we will design a parapet, and we will provide a new elevation drawing for you to review.
Okay. And also, the fencing. You're going to have the mechanical equipment on the rear of the building. That's going to be outside the fence though, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it's attached to the building. It's hanging on the side of the building. So
Right.
it's elevated off the ground, and yes, it would be outside of the play area.
Okay.
All right, any other questions, comments?
Well, can you describe the elevation system that you're using to raise this above flood level?
Yes, the ground conditions will meet, I think it's 262. Is that feet?
Yeah.
Feet. And the buildings, the way that we install the modular buildings, we use ABS pads and dry stack CMU blocks. And the finished floor will be about 36 inches above that 262. So it will meet the required 265. And we will have a stamped engineered foundation drawing by a licensed Mississippi architect or engineer.
Did I understand you don't have the engineer's drawings on that yet?
No, sir, we do not order those foundation designs until we have the blueprints on the modular building.
Well, do y'all expect us to prove it before we get to see the engineer's design?
Well,
I could provide you with a typical, but I could get him to do a typical and show it to you, but it would be based on the vinyl, modular building blueprints.
Well, I'd like to see the design as it's actually going to be, not what you propose it to be.
Okay, well, we can definitely get that to you.
How long do you think it would take before you could get it?
When do they need that? Now?
yeah.
I can order that this week.
Hey, Director Barr? Question, if we was to approve this, what would be the next step for them? I'm just asking, do they have, there's a final approval, or is that what they're asking for now?
as far as what they're asking for this evening is they're basically asking for approval by the planning commission as what they've submitted, or if there's conditions that you place upon them, that if they're agreeable to that, then hopefully they could work with that going forward. As far as staff's take on the design, as far as, the interplay with where they're in the floodplain and they'd be elevating, we've been going by what the design, as they've shown in their elevation views. Hopefully it would be similar or about the same as what they've proposed in their elevation views. So that's what we would be looking for design.
I guess my main question is would they be coming before us again for a final approval of their designs? I mean, as far as the building, once they have it engineered and everything, or is this?
Well, I would leave that up to the planning commission. If you feel like you want to see that actual design of what that would be, as far as what they would be ordering and designing, you could certainly wait to see that. You could defer and just say, it's approved based upon review by staff. you could do it that way. So there's a couple of different options there.
Yeah, I just wanted to make that clarification. Okay. Any other discussion, questions for the applicant or?
I have a question. So, the parking issue with the ADA, that's been met? They have all agreed to all the conditions?
Yes, ma'am, that will be revised on our next submittal to staff.
All right, do we have any more discussion, questions? Do we have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we do not approve this until we see all of the drawings complete, not just piecemeal to us 2 or 3 pages at a time.
All right, do we have a second for that motion?
A second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Roll call?
Commissioner Egner,
Nay.
can we have a clarification on what we're voting on?
Okay, so we're voting to not approve this until they submit more design.
Table it.
So we're tabling it, basically?
No, he's saying we not approve it.
Okay.
They have to provide us with a different design and bring it back before us.
Is that what you're wanting to table it until the next
No.
meeting, or?
We will, I'm assuming that we will have to wait till the next meeting, because unless, Dr. Barr wants to make a, special meeting call. But this has been, what, the 2nd or 3rd time y'all been before us, and you've always left something out of the drawings or something that we did not get. If you come up and tell us now that you want to do it this way, I don't think that the plans should be submitted until you get complete drawings to us so we can see them and understand them.
Okay, so so the motion is that, and it's been seconded that that this one be denied, and that until they can bring more design. We have our first vote is a nay. So go ahead and come on. We need to go ahead and finish the roll call.
I think it's kind of not clear whether we're tabling it.
We're not
I don't see the denial.
This is not.
Until they bring it in instead of denying it.
Okay, well, unfortunately, we've already have a motion, so we have to go through this motion. It's not to table it; it is to deny it until they can bring us more documentation.
Okay.
So go ahead with the roll call.
Okay, so this is in favor of denying, okay? So Commissioner Egner, you voted yes?
No, he
voted no.
No.
Okay, excuse me. Linda McGann, yes. Commissioner Mercer?
I'm sorry, you changed something and I don't understand. The voting is
For denying until they bring a design,
I vote yes.
okay? Is that what everyone understands?
No.
Okay, we need to,